Afrika Bambaataa is gone. The internet is reacting. The blogs are reacting. The news sites are reacting. YouTube is reacting. And social media is reacting. Want to hear my reaction? Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? I go by the name of Doggie Diamonds. You know this is Doggie Diamonds TV. Doggie Diamonds No Filter. Pardon me for not putting out audio in a while, but I've been working on some other stuff. But that's still no excuse. So that's my bad. To all my audio supporters, Doggie Diamonds No Filter is on Apple Podcasts, as well as all DSPs that serve podcasts. It's on there. So I will be putting episodes back on there. I apologize to my listening audience. And if you want to know, all the links is right in the description box for the audio version of the podcast. Let's get down to business. First and foremost, we have to shout out Star, aka Troy Terrain, aka Star from Star and Buck Wild, aka one of the media forefathers in the culture, and not only hip hop culture, just the culture period. That was radio, magazine, public access television, you name it. He's been a part of it. Definitely a pioneer in the culture. Definitely somebody who early on, I liked his bravery. I liked his brashness. The fact that he didn't give a. I liked all that. That was just like what I liked. You know, I was like, yo, he don't give a. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I want to not give a. So, you know, in many ways, he inspired me to do what I do. And he had a story that I didn't know was stories, but he had a story that he put out there pertaining to this Afrika Bambaataa situation, and I was just intrigued by it. Like, wow. And he spearheaded that, man. Like, so the whole Afrika Bambaataa situation, if we're gonna give credit to somebody, the credit should go to Star, because Star put it out there, and it took a lot of bravery to put this out there because nobody want to touch it. So by the time, you know, I jumped in, and nobody wanted to really deal with this or touch this, because we talking about the so-called alleged founder of hip hop. And I thought people was thinking that if you take him down, you taking down hip hop, and that's not true. We're gonna talk about that more as I progress in this podcast right here. It wasn't about hip hop. It was about a person, an individual. But being that y'all wanted to crown him the so-called leader of it, you thought a whole genre was being taken down. But then as time progressed and we started pulling back the layers on the genre, maybe it should get taken down and rebuilt. Because we have to get to a point to where we destroy and rebuild. Because what it was founded off of and what it became is not what we thought it was gonna be. And then it started mirroring and mimicking things that we was like, what is this? But maybe it was founded on that. I don't know, because if this is the so-called founders, which I don't agree with, let's get that straight. I do not believe Afrika Bambaataa is the founder of hip hop. I will never give him credit for that. I will never give Hurt credit for that. I will never give Grandmaster Flash the credit for being the founders of hip hop and the Godfather. I will not. They might be pioneers in it, but they are not the founders. That's my stance. You agree with me, you agree with me. You don't, whatever. But I felt like when Star was putting this out there, nobody really wanted to touch it. And at that time, you know, Forbes DVD was bubbling. So I was like, yo, I'm jumping on that because, yo, what? And you know, I've always had something against injustice, mistreatment, or people having to do something strange for change, and just people, you know, talent being abused and misused. and they had to do something to get something. I always been against that. So that's been my fight. Y'all know that been my fight. Didn't stop. Didn't to this day. Um, so like I said, shout out to Star, man. Shout out to Star for that. Because he really uncovered something that was just covered up for years, man. Just covered up for years. And it took bravery. It took a lot of work, and it took a lot of BS that Star went through that I eventually end up started going through just to get the truth out there and the story out there. And it was bigger than the story because it was about lives and it was about people. And then the cover up started happening. And I was like, what the hell? So when you see these talking points of people and you see KRS-One say, I don't give a fuck, and you see all this stuff, you're like, what is this all about? Why? Then it starts to get a little bit more sinister. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say. I know what I'm going to say. I'm just trying to get it to where I don't want to rant, but I want to be specific. I want to have the passion without the anger, if that makes any sense, because I'm pissed off. I am pissed off because when Star put this out there, when I grabbed a hold of it and others grabbed a hold of it, the story, it wasn't popular. It wasn't a popular thing. It was just wasn't popular to be a part of taking down hip hop. And it wasn't about taking down hip hop. It was about a dude with his wild ass sickness that spread it somewhere and then end up being global. And everybody was like, I don't know what y'all talking about. Now, nobody could piss on my head and tell me it's rain. That's just me. I'm not a fool. So when I seen what I seen, saw what I saw, and started hearing what I'm hearing, I'm like, yo, hold up. Then I started putting the pieces together. So it made me start understanding the Diddies, the Clive Davises, the KRS-Ones. It made me start understanding what's going on and what is this about. The RZAs. We're going to get to that too today. Made me start understanding what's really happening and how somebody's sick mind can actually corrupt. And then when you put a blanket over it called hip hop, everybody thinks you're going to rip the hip hop blanket up. So everybody wants to protect the hip hop blanket, but that ain't hip hop. It's not hip hop. Hip hop is about creativity, having fun, conveying messages, and having camaraderie amongst each other. Mainly heavy on the creativity. That's what hip hop is. Hip hop has nothing to do with harming anybody. That's what it became. But we say gangster rap, we say all this stuff. But then when we realize, yo, they was already getting wild in the beginning on another level. So what's the difference between where Afrika Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation was taking place in and so-called the gangster rappers? Because one is doing some wild shit, and then others is a different extremity. One you can see, one is covert. So we say hip hop saved a lot of lives. Hip hop did this. Well, who saved the damn kids? Who saved the children? So, all right, calm down. Let me chill. So, I interviewed an individual before who I just no longer want to talk to because of their manic behavior. They just started doing too much. And I'm not talking about Hassan Campbell because although me and him had a nasty back end, YouTube back and forth, I actually got to have a conversation with him, and we're in a better space of conversing and just having understanding of this shit was bigger than us, man. It was bigger than us, and we would just put in something, and then the microphone and the microscope was put on us. So now we're trying to perform under duress of everything you say and everything you do is being picked apart. More so him than me. Because I'm built for this. I came in the culture doing this. He didn't. So when you feel like you're always under attack, sometimes you strike out. Sometimes, you know, when you fight and whoever grab you, you swing on them too. It could be somebody that's your friend. That's what happened. So we could just dead all of that in that situation. So me and him is in a great space of understanding, like, yo, blah, 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 blah. But I interviewed an individual before. And the reason why KRS-One said, I don't give a fuck, which was the wrong thing to say at that time. But you know, the cocky, the arrogance, and the teacher and all of this, who knows? Or just being flat out stupid. Because sometimes we could say that too. Sometimes you could be so smart that you're stupid. Right? Reason why he said that? Because allegedly, and I'm going to say allegedly, he has something close to the situation. An individual that I interviewed before said to me, and I had it on camera, but I think I took it down because all of this just, they demonetized they did a lot to me behind this shit, man. They did a lot to me. So when you look and say, oh, you supposed to have this, you supposed to have that, yo, they did a lot to me. Because when you do something and they change the fine print, that's why I'm careful with my words. When they change the fine print, you don't read the fine print sometimes, you could get caught up. So, an individual told me as they were in that room with Bam Dusky, as Star like to call him, a member of BDP was in there too, allegedly. But this is not my words. This is the person who was in the room words. And y'all know me. I always got receipts. I always got proof. I don't get up here and cap. I just don't shoot from the hip. People say, oh, you gossip. No, gossip is I heard, I think. I'm telling you firsthand what somebody said to me on my camera, but I had to remove the content. And this said person is deceased, and it's not Scott LaRock. So let's just stop there. But the said person is deceased. And for their out of respect for them, I'm not going to say their name. But if you heard it when the content was up, you heard it. It was plain as day. But I'm not going to say their name. Just out of respect for the deceased. You know, we sometimes, if they wasn't my op, I respect them. If they was my op, no respect. What brings me here today is the reaction of the people. Now, the people, y'all are so dope. Y'all make all of this go around. Y'all make all of this possible. Please, please never stop supporting what you think is real. Never stop supporting people who you see fight good fights. Please continue to do that. But it was a lot of cowards in that. So a lot of people who I'm seeing now with YouTube think pieces and got blogs, y'all was scared. Y'all was shaking in y'all boots. Y'all did not want no smoke in them situations. Y'all didn't say nothing. If we look back at all the people that had something to say about it, it was nothing. It was myself. It was Star. It was myself. It was Sanetta had jumped on the story. It was a few people, but it wasn't what it is now. So for everybody to say, oh, to disgrace this, to disgrace that, if you had the fucking nuts and the bravery when it was fresh and it was going on, maybe it would have been some type of justice. Because don't think it wasn't no justice. So for people say, why wasn't he in jail? It was a default judgment against him. It was a default judgment. Shout out to Layla Wills too as well, who stayed diligent. In 2025, it was a default civil judgment against him. An anonymous victim came out and said that they was of a certain age, underage, and he XYZ, and he won a judgment. But the fucking cover up that was going on, the cover up of all the people, the hip hop museums and all of this stuff that y'all acting like hip hop was gonna get taken down. No, you fix the problem. And if you let the problem continue, then it becomes a everybody thing. That was an individual who had his own whatever he was into. Whatever he was into. And then the enablers. Because it was a lot of enablers. I know people who had Zulu in their name. One dude, I think he's from Rhode Island. I ain't even gonna say your name. You played a lot of little games with me, but you know, like I said, with me, some things are beyond internet now. We don't even talk. We don't even got nothing to say. But so many people felt the way about me because I took on a story that was news and noteworthy, and it was educational because I wanted people to know certain things is not okay. It's not okay. This is not normal. So I just want to say to everybody who stood down from then to now, to anybody who might have been harmed in a situation, I feel for you. Hopefully you going to counseling. You was able to, as much as you can, heal mentally, spiritually, physically, and put your life back together the best way you know how. I empathize with you, and I feel bad. That's why I took all this on. Shit just wasn't just a story to me after a while. It became a part of my life, a part of my being, a part of everything. And nobody laid a hand on me. Let's get that clear. Nobody did nothing to me. But when you are human and you are a person with a heart, because people like to say I'm evil, mad, but all of that shit. When you're a person with a heart, when you see somebody else being done wrong, you just stand up for what's right. And being that it was going under something that I love called hip hop, I felt like I had to fight for hip hop to say, "Lo, let's take hip hop out of this." So all the people now who's making your YouTubes and got something to say, y'all cowards. Because you don't know more now than you knew then. And you didn't say nothing then because you allegedly didn't have evidence. You didn't have this, that, and the third. So why are you talking now? Y'all cowards. But I expect cowards to cower. I don't expect nothing else. But I just had to say that because this shit has not been easy. And it was I didn't want it to be my claim to fame and my legacy. So after a while, I was just like, yo, man, I just give up on this. And then there was another situation where I talked to somebody who actually, because we threw a press conference, we did so much stuff, man, like to try to help the situation. Shout out to King Simon too, very, very, very good dude. I called an individual one day, and I'm always thinking about community. See, because we always talk about these communities, the hip hop community. The community, most of the communities that people talk about has no real estate. It's in the mind, right? But nobody lives in my head rent free, so I don't be like community. To me, community is your blocks. Community is your neighborhood. Community is your borough, your state, whatever, your city. That's what community is, where you live. So I suggested, and I told this story before, I hit an individual before, and I said, yo, We got a lot of healers in this so-called conscious community. Why don't we get the healers together? We raise funds and monies. They could do a lecture on what to look out for, how to overcome these situations if this happened to you. The monies that we collect, we pick a charity that specializes in this, we cut a check. That's our way of giving back. We giving back. So when you look at all these so-called conscious dudes wearing all this weird shit, you know the stuff they be into. People can never say to you, yo, you never gave back. Oh, yes, we did. We put on, we raised some money, and then we gave to the people who helped the people. And it could be of our choice. We don't have to do it. Don't have to be Red Cross or anything like that. Niggas gonna say to me, nah, nobody don't want to do that. Niggas want to get paid. And I'm like, yo, we owe the people. It's not about us getting paid. We owe the people. Nobody want to do that. That's when I was like, all right, niggas ain't serious. So I just washed my hands with all of it. I was like, yo, niggas ain't serious. There's no allies in a lot of this. Dude, allies is just getting on camera and the word, remember they was using it, they like to pontificate and talk and look smart and sound deep, but don't got nothing to show for nothing. Not gonna get into that. That's just why I left a lot of people and a lot of things alone, because I realized people are in love with talking, but they're not in love with actual doing or taking from the talk and letting the speech manifest in your ways and actions through deeds. They're not into that. They're just into talking. But the cover up was crazy, which makes me segue into something else. As y'all know, I got a lot of tapes. I got a lot of stuff. And I push it out. At one point, I was like, damn, it could be look bad for the culture. It could look bad. But then I was like, the culture look bad when you cover stuff. The culture look bad when you enable stuff. The culture look bad when you know things that affected the culture and you don't say nothing. So I can't be a hypocrite. So some of the tapes that I have, some of the things, if y'all was wondering this is the answer to that. It's been received a little bit. Some of the things that I put out there, I put out so far, whatever I put out. And I warned y'all, I gave y'all 3 keys, but when people don't listen or when they don't understand, they don't even hear you. They don't even hear you. They listening, but they don't hear you, or they hear you, but they not listening. Whatever you want to do. I put out 3 things. Because when I keep telling y'all it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse. Because I'm not going out with nobody's secrets of these foul ass dudes, doing that to dirt and all the people, oh, you doing it for the views? Everybody do things for the views. Everything has a view counter. So if you put up a picture and nobody liked it and nobody viewed it, what did you put it up for? For you? You could have just kept it. So miss me with the doing things for the views and all that. It is my profession to get views. It is my profession to get views because that's what you rank people on. Their views, their likes, their subscribers. That's what you rank people on. If I had it my way, if I did it my way, I would do other things, but it don't garner the attention that y'all want. So I made a video and I'll link the video. This is what the culture came to. Okay, let's dance now. So what did I put out there? I put out there RZA cousin interview. I don't know this woman. Never met her in the flesh a day in my life. Don't know her. She was referred to me by somebody close to me. Not gonna put them out there. And I took on her story. When I put her story out there, she was disrespected, clowned, called names, all types of stuff. And I said, damn, this is why people don't like to say what happened to them. Because if you like somebody beats or raps or you like what they gave you, you look at them, the person that has a story about said person, like they're trying to destroy a legacy. They're not trying to destroy a legacy, but you destroy your own legacy when you do shit you ain't got no business doing, allegedly. Now, again, I can't say for sure that he did what he's accused of or he didn't, but you still got to hear the person out. People just wasn't trying to hear it. I seen a whole PR campaign come out after that. You didn't see the PR campaign that came out after I dropped that interview? You didn't see it? You didn't see it. I know I'm not tripping. It was a whole PR campaign. It was an interview done after that. What the interview start with? Family. But these same individuals called my phone asking me, you got a smear campaign against? How the fuck I'm gonna have a smear campaign against somebody that I don't know because somebody said that he did something to them? What that got to do with me? My job is to get stories. So niggas was doing whole PR campaigns. I promise you. And don't pull that, don't go there because, again, I am who I am. I do what I do. But I seen it, saw it, understood. I said, oh, they put some money in this shit. They put some money in this whole image thing. But nobody addressed the accusations. Nobody addressed it. It was just like, you know what? Let's bury that by ignoring it, and then let's prop this up. So then out of nowhere, you see Hall of Fame shit. You see he don't eat leaves and all this other shit and family sciences and all. I seen it. I didn't say nothing. I said, damn, they did a lot. I get it. I understand. I know what this is. People think that this is about attacking a brand, attacking all the brothers involved with that brand. And it's not. It's about an individual who's accused of wrongdoing, but they don't have to face their accusations because they're able to push other things in a way and other people gonna help them. Because I know what I know because I am who I am. And it's so sad that the wool be pulled over your eyes and y'all don't even know it. And y'all don't even be knowing who's a part of pulling the wool over your eyes. And it's just so sad. It's fucked up. And no matter what I say, no matter what I show y'all, no matter what I tell y'all, y'all gonna think what y'all think because for some reason, y'all fell in love with people based off of what you think is talent. You fell in love with them. You fell in love with the person, not the art. That's how they can sell you liquor, reefer. I'm always gonna say reefer, alcohol. They could sell you anything and you're gonna buy it because you love that person. And you've been led astray by these same people. But I saw the PR campaign. I seen the comments. I seen people in the comments like, I fuck my cousin. I was like, wow. Your first cousin? So we go by the legal age of consent now? Even if you're just a year over the legal age? So what was your brain like when you was 18 and somebody had you by like 10, 11 years? So you don't think somebody 10, 11 years older than you can manipulate you? That's what you telling me. Okay. Hey, who am I? My job is just to put stories out there. I don't get emotionally invested in it. But when I seen what I seen, I said, damn, this is why we messed up. This is why we had the Bambaataa thing. This is why we have other things, because it's not what the person did. It's the people saying, oh, we got to fix this. I don't have millions of dollars to push interviews. And then I'm not even going to say, even in that situation, you see, I one and done it. I didn't bring her back. We didn't do, but I know other things that's happening and taking place behind the scenes, and y'all will find out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna find out. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. But I watched the PR campaign, and I was like, holy shit. And it's so deep. And reason why I did this video to somebody, I promise you, like I said, I don't never got a cap. I don't want to put their name out there, so I show you this. You see this? Damn, you can't see it. Hold on. Let me bring the light down. I got a long DM. You still can't see it. Let me bring the light down. My fault, y'all. My fault. I wasn't supposed to get passionate, but I did. It's my backup phone. Where's my main phone at? I got a long DM from a brother today. And I'm going to read some of it. I'm not going to put their name out there, but I'll read some of it. He says, peace. And shout out to you, bro, because you were so right and exact and on point. He said, peace. I just want to shout you out for some of the work that you have done in terms of intelligent commentary, interviews, and so on your platform. Even though I don't always agree with your perspective, I think that it takes heart to allow a sister like RZA's cousin to speak her piece. I'm sure that type of thing can earn you a lot of enemies in hip hop. So I want to acknowledge that. The move that you made was not necessarily the most popular thing to do, but it was definitely on point in terms of truth and ethics. Now, I'm not sure if you are aware that after a month after your interview with Tay was recorded, there was an interview that I told y'all about. Then he said, there's an interview that came out with him. To me, the timing was a bit suspicious because it seems almost like it was deflecting or throwing up a smoke screen around the allegations Tay raised. I wanted to ask you if you solicited RZA or someone from his team or publicist to comment on the video after you recorded it, thereby tipping him off that it was coming out, and maybe prompting him to make a counter move or checkmate by recording or releasing the other video. I'm telling you, I don't tip nobody off. I don't talk to no publicist. I'm on the side that I interview somebody, that's it. I'm not talking to the other party. This is gonna happen. I don't do that. Because then that would break the trust that I have in the person coming to me with the story. I know this is about Bambaataa, but I'm just making a correlation of how things like this go on in the culture and everybody get quiet, then everybody scurries to save a brand. It ain't about the brand. The brand is gonna fly how it fly. But if it's about the babies and teaching the youth and all this other shit niggas talk about, don't just talk about it, be about it. This ain't no talk. This ain't talk. This shit is real. On that note, I could go on and on. I'm a chill for now. But let me let y'all know, man. Hey, man, if you want to get on my networks, I offer a promotional service for $100. It's $100 for the post of your choice. It could be your music, your brand, an interview you did, or any of your products. It could be in my Doggie Diamonds TV community, my Doggie Diamonds Instagram stories, my Doggie Diamonds Threads account, and my Doggie Diamonds Doggie Diamonds Twitter, and I just started a Doggie Diamonds Facebook. So look out for that. $100 per post. Just hit me on the DM. And also, listen, you want to get interviewed on Doggie Diamonds TV, just hit me up on Instagram at Doggie Diamonds. This will be a 35-minute interview that includes the $100 social media promo. It could be live stream or tape. I prefer tape. And an additional guest could be in your interview. You want to hop on this offer? Also DM me at Doggie Diamonds. Listen, man, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Listen, subscribe to my YouTube. Until next time. Yo, I appreciate y'all, man. Every day at 3 p.m., I drop new content. I'm a little late today, but every day at 3, from 3 to 3:30, look for new content. I'm out of here. Peace. Yes, and make sure you see where the spinning logo is at. You click the logo, you can subscribe to the channel just like that and watch these related videos. I'm Doggie Diamonds. And if you want to know who do all this music,
Doggie Diamonds did this.
I said I do all my beats.
Doggie Diamonds did this.